Hello, welcome back to another episode. Today, I first and foremost want to get something across. I want to just say something that we're all thinking. Lily, you sound a little funny, and you would be correct because I can't breathe out of my nose right now. And there are going to have to be many times where I take a break to catch my breath because you can only breathe in and talk so often. And as of late, for the past 3 days specifically, I haven't been able to breathe through my nose properly. So, with that being said, I do apologize if you're just like, her voice is just like a little extra annoying today. I'm going to skip out for this episode, which is completely fair. I'm not sick. I might look like it, and sound like it, and I say this every year, but I think the government is just putting tons and tons and pounds of pollen in the air in order for the allergy industry, the medicine industry, to just continue to grow, because I can't be outside, and even if I am inside, they don't go away. They're just still here. So I do in fact sound like what I imagined a elephant would sound like if they could speak words. Just a little nasally. Nothing great, a little annoying. I already know my voice is annoying enough, but it's just a little extra annoying today, and I do apologize. But to get into today's topic, today I'm going to be talking about the things that evoke a fiery rage within my soul. Now, I know that it's really important, and I do practice this, to recognize and talk about the things that make you happy in your life, and the things that bring you joy, and the things that you're grateful for, because that's a good mindset to have. But sometimes you just need to talk about the things that piss you off. The things in this world that you wish you could eliminate. And today I'm talking about those because I feel like it. And I encourage everyone to go on a little rant every once in a while and talk about the things that really truly piss them off, because it can be fun. And I like to listen to people talk about things that evoke a fiery rage within their souls every once in a while, because I think there's just this passion for such small, mundane things that piss people off that I find very humorous and that I often agree with. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Of course, the first thing on my list involves children. If you have listened to any episodes before, especially in my earlier episodes, I don't like children. It sounds so especially coming from a woman, because women are just kind of expected to have this maternal instinct, and I do, but for my friends, when it comes to children, I just don't have the patience for them. I never really have. For the longest time, I've just never really loved kids. I've never talked about having children, or I have, but only in terms of what I would name them. But besides that, that's kind of where it just stops. And which is funny, because I have so many teachers in my family, and they all teach young children. And I did not get that characteristic. I got the complete opposite. So the first thing on my list is screaming children, specifically in restaurants, grocery stores, and more specifically, Target. Children screaming in Target. Let's unpack that first. Target is a place for peace and serenity. That is a place where people go not to just buy things, but to have a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful experience. So when you bring your children, as if it's a playground or a daycare, I'm going to get a little pissed. There's nothing worse than being in Target when you're trying to do your errands, when you're trying to just browse the home section, when you're trying to look at overpriced pillows, And 3 aisles over, you have a screaming bloody murder toddler right next to you. And I understand that the parent can't control it to a certain extent, but children they should not be allowed to be in Target. No, that's it, just period. Target should be a place for adults only. It's like, Target is like an adults only resort. I want that place to be filled with people who aren't going to be screaming and crying at the top of their lungs, stomping, having a hissy fit. That's just not what Target's meant to be. If alcohol can be bought somewhere, children should not be allowed in there. Not even because there's alcohol, but I just feel like they're not selling alcohol at fucking Toys R Us, are they? No. But they're selling wine and little seltzers at Target, or at least at my Target. And I think that that's just the boundary that we need to start following. Segue. Children on planes. There should be adult-only planes and then just regular planes. Like how there's, family resorts and adult-only resorts. There's a reason why we have 2 distinct resorts. Because one of them, you want to have time with your family and bring the kids, and I'm all for, having some of my fondest memories are whenever I was a little kid at the beach. But there's a reason why we have adult only resorts, because we want to get away from the fucking screaming kids, because it's not fun to be around. So that's why I genuinely would pay a pretty penny for me to go on an airplane where it is 18 and up. That is money I'm willing to spend in order for me to know that I'm going to have a pleasant experience on this plane. Now, I understand you could still have disturbances, even with grown adults. Trust me, I have experienced that. However, there is a clear difference between that annoyance and a screaming child or a screaming baby. It's this ear piercing, you can put headphones in and pretty much cancel out a grown adult's voice or them bitching or whatever, unless they're screaming at the top of their lungs, which completely happens. But there's something about a kid kicking your chair, screaming at the top of their lungs, playing on their fucking iPad without headphones, and the parent not saying anything about it. That literally makes me want to break open the airplane window and just skydive right into the Atlantic Ocean. I think that's my only one about my 2 about kids. They might pop back up here, but I just had to get that off my chest. It felt really, really nice. Thank you so much for listening. I'm just now looking at myself in my camera, and I'm realizing I am wearing the same color as my couch, which is the same color as my skin, and my nails are almost the same color too, and my blanket's almost the same color. So I'm not looking too spicy today. Sorry, guys. I just was sitting here, and I was going to wait to record this after my nose cleared out, but I got a schedule to follow. And if you want this shit on time and produced appropriately, to my standards at least, then we're just going to have to deal with a little bit of nasaliness. Deepest apologies to everyone. And if something that fills you with a fiery rage is nasally voices, listen, I get it. I will not be offended if you're like, I hate that you put this on the internet and I never want to listen to you again. You know what? I get it, sister. Next up, we have slow drivers. Furthermore, traffic. I've talked about traffic before, and I still don't understand it. I think it was maybe on the first or second episode of the more things I don't understand. I think one of them was traffic. I have read about it and I have tried to learn, but still to this day, every time I drive into the city of Pittsburgh, PA, and I'm going through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, and there is just an obscene amount of traffic. But as soon as you get to one specific spot, everyone starts speeding up. It's just like immediately clears. What do you mean? How does that even happen? Oh my God. I honestly think that this pisses me off more than a child in Target does, because I don't have road rage, but I definitely, like, I want to get to point A to point B in a timely manner, like most sane people. However, the moment that there's unnecessary traffic, there's not like, road work, or that's like, there's a lot of lane shifts, or there's an accident, those types of things I can understand. But it's whenever just out of nowhere there's traffic, and then 2 miles later, out of nowhere, it just clears up. Everyone just starts driving back to normal. It's like, what was that congestion for? I mean, congestion is really just today's topic, because I'm congested and traffic just loves to be congested, especially in the Fort Pitt Tunnel of Pittsburgh. God, I hate that tunnel. I know whenever you come out of it going towards the city, beautiful, beautiful sights, but I don't care enough about the sight of the Pittsburgh skyline to sit in 15 minutes of traffic. Standstill traffic in a tunnel. I don't like tunnels. I think it's gonna just like collapse inside of me. Not inside of me, but while I'm inside of it. God. And then another one, it's not in the order, but these aren't also like, it's not like number 1 through like the last, but this is just the order it came into my head. Trucks. This can go for any truck, really. Specifically kind of the older trucks that people will put like an exhaust on it, and it's overly loud and it's rusty, but like, like there's definitely some right-wing people driving it 9 times out of 10. Those kind of trucks, and I know you know what I'm talking about too. Those trucks, similarly, it's typically those kind of trucks too, but whenever they have like a lot of stickers on it that's like, fuck this, and I'm thinking of one specifically, and if I can find the picture, I'll put it up on the video here, but I once saw a truck that on the back of their window, right above the bed of the truck, there was a sticker of like a stick person, and it was like, looked like it was humping something, and it just said like, fuck this. I once also saw a truck that had like right where the hitch is, I think that's what it's called, like if you had a camper that it would hook up to, like right there, someone had a pair of like metal balls. A metal ball sack was hanging from that area. I can't make this up either. I wish I could, but I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I was disturbed beyond words. So, furthermore, on the truck category, 18-wheelers, specifically when they're in the fast lane, the left lane, arguably worldwide known, at least nationwide, the left lane is not for trucks. I don't care if you get stuck behind another truck. You're both trucks. You're both going to go slow. You think you're going to go faster than them, but then you end up going the same exact speed as the one you tried passing. And now we have 50 cars backed up because your ass is going 40 miles an hour on a highway when the speed limit is 70. I know I'm keeping a pretty calm voice right now, but inside of my body, I can feel my blood boiling thinking about this. And as someone who drives on a highway pretty frequently, going from one city to another, my apartment back to my hometown, this has happened to me more times than I can ever even imagine. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it literally makes me want to commit a non-murderous crime. I believe that trucks, like big trucks. They should have their own highway. Why don't they? Why don't they have their own highway where they can go, not whatever speed they want, but they can go as slow as they need to go, especially up hills? Why don't they have their own designated lane? You know, like, you can't have everything you want, Lily. Next, not similarly at all, actually. When there's a hair in my body and I can't find it, like, that's tickling me. This happened to me recently and I was in public and it was like tickling my leg, like just like a hair from my head. And I couldn't find it because it was from the bottom of my hair, and the bottom of my hair is lighter than the top. And I couldn't see it. It was like blending in with my clothes and my skin. And the whole time I'm like, my hands aren't like up my pants, but you know, they're near there, and I'm trying to find it because it keeps tickling the inside of my thigh. And I'm like, where is it? So the entire time I'm like on a walk or whatever, and I just can't find it. Same with whenever there's a hair in my mouth, right in the back of the throat. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even know if I would wish that feeling upon my worst enemy. I really don't, because no, I feel like that's actually a pretty good thing to wish on your worst enemy, because it does the trick. It's the perfect amount of torture and annoyance without actual violence. Quick one, when a man continues to interrupt me. This hasn't happened to me very often, but it has happened to me. And when I say, I'm not a yeller. Like, if I'm in an argument with someone, I'm not really going to raise my voice. I'm going to get mean, but I'm not going to raise my voice. This happened to me when I was on a phone with a man. And it was like a situationship talking thing. It was just really weird. And he kept interrupting me. And I raised my voice and I yelled. Because there's already getting interrupted. Here's the thing. Here's the difference. Because I can be interrupted by my friends when we're just like having a conversation. That's normal. Okay? Like, they'll cut me off and be like, oh my God, yeah. So what, like, not like diverting from my point, but they'll just like be adding on to it. That's a very normal way of communicating, especially between women. When I'm having a conversation with a man, not like talking, a conversation, and they continue to interrupt me before I can even make my point, and they're interrupting me saying, I don't understand what you mean. Well, maybe if you would let me finish, maybe you would understand what I'm saying. But you keep interrupting me, so you can't understand what I'm saying. Just food for thought. Next up, peeling off a sticker on something and it not coming clean. I don't know why companies still continue to put stickers on things if it's not going to come off clean. Like, here, for example, on my Starbucks cup, this sticker 99% of the time comes off clean because they know, they understand. Now, when I take a sticker off of like the bottom of a bowl or the bottom of a candle or a jar, never once has it come off clean. There's always a residue, and then I have to soak it in hot water, and then I have to take isopropyl alcohol, and I have to take off the glue of it. Why are we still continuing to do that? I'll pay an extra 25 cents for a sticker to come off perfectly off of a jar that I always reuse. I'll do it. Right hand up to God. I will pay an extra 25 cents if it means that the sticker of my tomato sauce jar that I reuse is going to peel off perfectly. And if it doesn't, and if I have to sit there and I have to soak it and take my isopropyl alcohol and take off the stickiness, I'm going to do it because I like to reuse my jars. But I'm going to be a little pissed about it. Next. This, I still don't know why, is a thing. Oh, God. Why the fuck isn't Instagram back in chronological order? Do you guys remember when that just happened? There was one update, one random morning. We all woke up and Instagram wasn't in chronological order anymore. I'll be swiping, post 2 minutes ago. Next post, swipe, post from 3 days ago. Why? Oh my God. Why? When this happened, not one person I talked to or I saw on the internet talking about this, not one person was like, thank God Instagram did that. Thank God Instagram is no longer in chronological order. Every person I talk to, even now, is like, yeah, I hate it. But we're just used to it now. Like, we kind of just forgotten about it. There was once a time where Instagram was in chronological order. No longer, my friend. Newsflash, it's not in chronological order. And it pisses me off because I feel like I have not seen like anyone's Instagram posts. It's always just like the same 5 accounts because the algorithm is like too strong on Instagram. I'll see like the same 5 accounts. Like, I don't know what people from my college or high school are doing because I just never see it. It's just like a Taylor Swift update account, a Harry Styles update account, my slime videos that I like to watch, and like nail videos. I rarely see pictures that like high school friends or college friends post anymore. My algorithm is too strong. And furthermore, it's not in chronological order. It pisses me off. God. Sleeping in pants that aren't joggers or like tight at the ankles because then they just ride up and become pantaloons. Especially like when you're sleeping. Right now I have flowy pants on and it's not bothering me that much because I'm not going to sleep. I'm just like casually sitting here. But they're like up to here now. They're like above my knee. They're not supposed to be above my knee. But right now it's okay because I'm not going to sleep. But the second I go to sleep with pants like this on, where they're flowy or just, straight legged, normal PJ pants, and the moment they ride up and become shorts, war ensues. War becomes real in my body. I know there could be a simple answer to this. Just don't wear pants. I can't. Even if my legs are freshly shaved and there's lotion on them, slippery, smooth, I can't do it. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a texture thing, but I literally don't know. I always have to wear like some kind of loose jogger. And even then, sometimes if it's too loose, they still become pantaloons. I'll wake up and the ankle part is right by my knee, and I wake up and I look like I'm George Washington. That's not really like a universal thing, but it's something for me that fills me with just an absolute fiery rage in my soul. Oh my God, this next one. I know it's not on purpose, but it still does something to me. Okay. And I know I'm not the only one. I think this is just like an age thing. When I'm at home with my parents and we're just in the living room, whatever, it's after dinner, we're all just like on our phones, watching TV, whatever it may be. No one's talking. We're all just minding our own business, enjoying each other's company. And all of a sudden, I hear this blasting music or blasting of someone talking from their phone. And they just keep it like that. They watch the entire Facebook reel video or they watch the entire TikTok on full blast on their phone and say nothing about it. I'm like, I know you're not that deaf. I have bad hearing myself. And I know as you get older, your hearing also gets a little bit worse. But I know for a fact there's no reason you need to have that on full blast. Sometimes they'll turn it down a little bit. But even then, like when I'm sitting on my phone and I'm scrolling, I got that bitch up like just like 2 little marks. You click your phone, it's all the way, okay, say it's silent, click it up twice, that's it. I don't want them to hear what I'm watching. Not that I'm watching anything weird, but that's for me to know. I don't want to bother anyone else. My parents, and parents in general, because I know this is like a universal thing, they just don't give a fuck. They're just going to listen. Even in public places, we'll be waiting for our table at a restaurant. We'll be in a waiting room at the doctor's office, whatever it may be, full blast, Instagram reels. I'm like, why is your phone always on full blast? Always on full blast. I'll never understand it. Something else that fills me with a fiery rage is when I sleep, which is very rarely, with socks on and without a fan. Both of those separately already make me extremely upset. But not that I'm ever like forced to sleep with socks on, but it's happened a couple times where I'll just like fall asleep with socks on, and then in the middle of the night I'm pissed because I have to be at an extreme level of exhaustion in order for me to fall asleep with socks on and without a fan. I place the blame on my sister because we used to share a room and she needed a fan to fall asleep because it was hot in our room. We didn't really get a lot of AC, and she just like needed the fan to be on her because she got too hot at night. And I was always fine sleeping in like a warm room. I was just used to it. So the fan would always go on her. However, some nights it would kind of go on both of us. And I was like, oh, this is nice. You know, because it's the perfect amount of like, I have coldness coming on me. But if I get a little too cold, I can still bundle up. But if you're sleeping in a warm room, you can't bundle up. But I need to sleep with at least a little blanket on me. I can't just sleep without nothing on my body, period. And so I have to sleep with a fan on. I have to have some kind of air circulation. And if I don't, good luck to everyone that I encounter the next day. So just know, be aware. If you're ever near me and I'm in a bad mood, preferably like in the morning specifically, it's probably because I slept somewhere where there wasn't a fan and I'm pissed. Next up, alpha males. They fill me with a fiery rage. Example A, Andrew Tate. I think I had to Google his name because I was just like, alpha male TikTok, and Andrew Tate was... No, I Googled that. Andrew Tate didn't come up first, surprisingly. Then I Googled sex trafficking alpha male, and Andrew Tate came up. So, if you don't know who it is, I don't even want to spend another second talking about that sick bastard. But you've probably seen him somewhere on the internet. He's just one of the worst people on the planet. Next up, a little less serious, undercooked pizza. When it looks perfect on the surface and you bite into it and you're like, that's delicious. You take another bite and then the dough is still a little bit raw in the middle. I always eat around it, but I know I shouldn't have. And I'm always fine. But it's just the saddest thing. It's like whenever people put like a gag gift in like a nice box. For example, like you're doing gag gifts or whatever it is, Christmas, I don't know, your birthday, and someone puts the gift in like a Gucci box or like an iPhone box or something, and it's not something from Gucci or it's not an iPhone. But you know what I mean? Where it's just like you're so excited and then like you bite into that like first piece, like you see it, you're like, oh my God, this is delicious. Then you take a next bite and you open it and you're like, oh fuck. That's not preferable. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm trying to make a visual for you guys. Next on the list is my landlord. He not only scares me, but he fills my soul with so much anger. I have talked about my apartment many times since the beginning of this podcast. I started this podcast around the time that I moved into this apartment. And it is just the definition of a landlord special. One of my favorite details of this apartment is in the kitchen. Someone just painted over a dead spider. Like someone smashed a spider, killed it, didn't like wipe it off or anything, and they just painted over it. So you can just see the outline of like a dead daddy long leg spider. So that just is kind of a summary of my apartment. And he also never answers me. He never answers my dad. he's the worst. He's never really been nice. He hasn't been mean, but he definitely has not been nice. So he's just the worst. Next, when people go to a different state or country, with like an accent and then come back after like a week or two at a new place and they come back and they have like that accent. For example, when people go to like Alabama, say they're from Pennsylvania, they go down to Alabama, visit someone for like 2 weeks or whatever. I don't know why you're going to Alabama for 2 weeks, but we'll just use that as an example. Come back, they have a country accent. No. That's not a thing. You can't form an accent in like 2 weeks. I don't care what science says. I don't care if, you can form a habit. No. I refuse. That is forced. Just like Taylor Swift's accent on her debut album. I love that woman to death. We all know this. But her little accent was 1000% fake. There's just no way. She was born in Pennsylvania. I don't care how many years she lived in Nashville or Tennessee. No. Okay? That's not a thing. Now, if you're living somewhere for a few months, over a couple of months, maybe over a year, and you pick up on some of the lingo, maybe you're saying words like a little bit differently, I get that. That is excusable. But when people come back after like a week-long trip of like somewhere else where they have a different accent and they come back and they just like think that they are from Paris, I'm gonna bully you. Next up, we got North and South Dakota. That's it. I don't know why we have to have a North and a South. I understand why we have a West Virginia and a Virginia. Hey, history buffs. But North and South Dakota, I'm a little confused on. Next up, we have overly sexual adults on vacation. This takes me back to my trip last year. I went to a resort in Mexico. It was like an all adults one. Thank God, no kids. But it's almost as annoying as like swimming with children because these adults are just like tonguing each other in the pool. I'm like, no. I am probably your child's age and you're gonna sit here and make out right in front of me. I know, they're on their own vacation, they can do whatever they want. Yeah, but like, go to your room. Damn. Like, I know it's all adults. Like, I'm an adult, but Jesus Christ, dude. On my list also is a stuffy nose. Felt that was pretty fitting. Because you don't value your ability to breathe and your ability to swallow without any hesitation until it's stripped away from you. Like most things in life, you don't realize the importance of it. You take it for granted every day until it's taken away from you. Whenever you have a sore throat, it makes you 10 times more appreciative of just your basic swallowing of your saliva, because it doesn't feel like pins and needles down your jugular, typically. But the second you're sick and you have a sore throat and you can't swallow without wanting to cry, you wish you would have appreciated your non-sore throat a little bit more. So if you're listening to this right now and you don't have a stuffy nose or a sore throat, take a nice deep breath through your nose and take a nice big gulp of water with ease. Next up, we have things when things expire before their expiration date. This recently happened to me with hummus. It wasn't supposed to expire for another month because hummus can keep for a while. This hummus grew mold on it. And not I'm going to take a spoon and dig around this hummus and throw away the mold. No. This was moldy. And it was okay, so I think it was the beginning of April. And it wasn't supposed to expire till middle beginning-ish of May. And I hate wasting food. I will eat things to the point where it's is this probably not okay to eat? maybe. But if it doesn't smell bad and it doesn't look bad, I'm probably just going to eat it because I don't want to waste it. So whenever I had like my entire tub of hummus fucking expired, I was a little pissed about it. Just a little bit. And lastly, going out with a bang because I know it's almost 3 o'clock. My upstairs neighbor fills me with so much rage that I cannot wait to leave this place. They have never been mean to me. However, they are extremely mean to their dog. And they have a dog, like the kind of dog that they have is the kind of dog that I used to have, a Boston Terrier. And every day at 3 o'clock, they come home from their classes, and it's a toss-up because either they're going to scream bloody murder, or they're going to say, "Good dog, you're so good," for like 10 seconds. 99% of the time, when they come back from their classes, they have a screaming fit. Bad dog, you're so bad, I hate you. Because the dog clearly probably isn't potty trained or whatever, or is getting into the trash or whatever it may be. But recently, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, I think the dog had an accident on the couch. And when I tell you, my upstairs neighbor, it sounded like she had just gotten a phone call that her family was murdered. And that she was never going to know, like, who killed her family. It was like a mixture of complete distraught and anger all at the same time. And it lasted for over an hour because they had to, like, clean up the mess. So they're pissed about that. And then they're crying because now they have to clean up this mess. And I'm like, why not just put your dog in a cage whenever you're gone so it doesn't get into anything or have accidents all over the place? There are solutions to your problems. And on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. Take this Wednesday to really just dive deep into things that piss you off. Write it down. Talk about it to yourself. Call up your friend and just let it out. Because I feel great. I feel relaxed. And that's what I will leave you with. Once again, thank you for listening. If you want, you can follow the pod on Instagram and argue with the wall, but the width is a W. And you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch these videos. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Prime Music. I don't know. Whatever else you can get podcasts and music. And I will chat with you guys next week.